There are places on this planet where no human has ever looked. Not because we haven't tried, but because the ocean doesn't allow it. It swallows signals, distorts sound, twists pressure and light into something that feels alien. What we do know is terrifying. What we don't know is worse. Because every time we go deeper, we find things that shouldn't be there and don't belong anywhere else. Voices with no mouths, creatures that reset death, lakes that float beneath the sea, and signals still active from machines lost decades ago. Some say the ocean is Earth's last frontier, but what if it's not part of Earth at all? You're about to witness a side of the ocean that science still can't explain. Not fully, not confidently, and not without fear. These are the ocean's greatest unsolved mysteries, and they're not done with us yet. The whistle of 52 blew. In the vastness of the Pacific Ocean, something is calling out. A deep, slow, mournful sound. Like a whale's song, but one that no other whale seems to hear. Scientists first detected it in the 1980s. A repeating call at a frequency of 52 hertz. That's higher than the calls of blue whales, and lower than the humpback. No known whale sings at that pitch. And yet, this one keeps singing. Year after year, the same lonely voice echoes across the deep. Always at 52 hertz. Always alone, and no other whale ever answers. Some believe it's a malformed blue whale, born with a voice no one else understands. Others think it could be a hybrid species. An entirely new whale, unknown to science, roaming the depths in permanent isolation. But here's what unsettles researchers most. It moves. The sound travels. Sometimes thousands of kilometers a year, just like real, living whales. Whatever it is, it's alive, and it's looking for something. Connection, recognition, or maybe just a reply. They've named it 52 Blue, the loneliest whale in the world, and to this day, no one knows what it truly is. Only that it's still calling, and still waiting. The shimmering undersea brine pools. Imagine swimming across the ocean floor, and suddenly encountering a lake beneath the sea, complete with shimmering ripples, shorelines, even waves. But this isn't an illusion. It's real, and it's deadly. These are undersea brine pools, pockets of hypersaline water so dense they don't mix with the surrounding sea. They form boundaries, like underwater lakes. And if a fish dares to enter one, it dies almost instantly. The salt content is 5 to 8 times higher than normal seawater. Laced with toxic gases like methane and hydrogen sulfide, they're often called death lakes by marine biologists. And yet, life exists around them. Strange, alien-like creatures. Worms, crabs, tube-dwelling organisms. Not just surviving, but thriving right at the edge of this poison. How they do it, we still don't fully understand. Even stranger, some of these pools appear to shift shape, or disappear and reappear. Others seem to be connected deep underground, as if the ocean is hiding a hidden circulatory system beneath its skin. One brine pool in the Gulf of Mexico has been nicknamed the Jacuzzi of Despair. Another in the Red Sea emits chemical signatures we can't replicate in any lab. To this day, we don't know how many exist, or how deep they truly go. They are oceans, within oceans, and crossing their surface is like stepping into another world, one that doesn't want you to leave. The black smokers that host impossible life. 2 miles beneath the surface, in a world without sunlight, volcanic chimneys rise from the seafloor, spewing black clouds of boiling liquid into the abyss. These are hydrothermal vents, more famously known as black smokers. They belch superheated water laced with toxic metals, sulfur, and other deadly chemicals. temperatures can exceed 400 degrees Celsius. Hot enough to melt lead, and yet life flourishes here. Thick colonies of blind shrimp, tube worms taller than a man, and creatures that feed not on sunlight, but on chemicals. This process, chemosynthesis, was once thought impossible for complex life. It defies everything biology taught us about how ecosystems begin. There is no oxygen, no light, no photosynthesis, just heat, pressure, and life. Some vents even form self-contained biospheres, with unique species that exist nowhere else on Earth. To scientists, it's more than just a mystery. It's a blueprint. Because if life can survive here, on the very edge of what's biologically possible, then maybe it can survive on other planets too. Europa, Enceladus, Titan, moons with oceans beneath their icy shells. Could they have black smokers of their own? If so, the first alien life we find may look less like little green men and more like the monsters already hiding in our sea. Submarine graveyards that emit strange signals. Somewhere beneath the waves, the wreckage of the Cold War still breathes. Dozens of decommissioned submarines, lost in classified missions, now rest silently on the ocean floor. Or at least, they're supposed to. Because in recent years, sonar arrays and undersea listening posts have detected something strange. Pings, whispers, pulses, coming from areas where no modern subs are known to operate. And when researchers investigate the coordinates, they sometimes match the final known locations of long-lost vessels from the US, Soviet Union, or even secret NATO experiments. In theory, these subs should be silent, lifeless, rotting away under layers of silt and pressure. But something is still active. Some claim it's collapsing hulls, slowly breaking apart under decades of stress. Others believe deep sea currents are triggering leftover sonar tech. But a few former naval analysts have raised a quieter theory, one that never makes it into official reports, that not all of these wrecks are truly abandoned, that something, human or not, might still be using them. And the signals, they're not malfunctions, they're transmissions. The ocean forgets nothing, and sometimes it remembers in code. The bloop sound. In 1997, off the southern tip of South America, a sound shook the Pacific. It was loud, it was low, and it traveled over 5,000 kilometers underwater. NOAA scientists monitoring for submarine activity had never heard anything like it. They called it the bloop. The signature was organic, not mechanical, not geological, something alive. For years, theories flooded in. A massive, undiscovered sea creature, a living leviathan the size of a city, something ancient, something waking up. The story spiraled into legend, the deep sea's version of Bigfoot. Then in 2012, NOAA issued a new explanation. The sound, they claimed, was ice. Specifically, cryoseisms, giant ice quakes caused by Antarctic glaciers breaking apart. Mystery solved? Maybe. But not everyone agrees. The bloop's pattern was strikingly biological, its strength unmatched, and the location far from the glacial zones described in the official report. Even now, some oceanographers believe the explanation was too neat, too convenient, because if the bloop wasn't just ice, then it was something else, something moving, something massive, and very much alive. And whatever made that sound has never been recorded again. The Baltic Sea Anomaly. In 2011, a Swedish diving team searching for shipwrecks found something else entirely. Lying 300 feet deep in the Baltic Sea, their sonar scan revealed a massive object, roughly 200 feet wide, perfectly symmetrical, with what appeared to be sharp edges, steps, and a long runway-like trail behind it. Some said it looked like a giant mushroom, Others said it looked like a spacecraft. Dubbed the Baltic Sea Anomaly, it became an overnight obsession. Theories swirled. Was it a natural rock formation, a secret Nazi structure, or something not of this world? Attempts to revisit the site were plagued by technical malfunctions. Equipment failed. Electrical systems shut down near the object. Divers claimed a strange magnetic interference. To this day, no conclusive study has explained it. Geologists suggest it's just a glacial deposit, a trick of shadows and sonar. But skeptics point out, those same experts have never gone down to see it themselves. The anomaly still sits there, silent, massive, and completely unexplained. The Milky Sea phenomenon. Imagine looking out across the ocean at night, and instead of blackness, you see a glowing sea, stretching past the horizon. Not flashes, not sparks, but a steady, ghostly, white-blue glow, as if the water itself is lit from within. This is the Milky Sea phenomenon, a rare event that turns entire sections of the ocean into a luminous field of light, sometimes over 15,000 square kilometers in size. Sailors have described it for centuries. Some thought it was moonlight, others, an omen. Only in recent decades has satellite imagery confirmed it's real, but the cause, still debated. Bioluminescent bacteria are the leading theory, millions of microscopic organisms glowing in unison. But no one's ever collected a sample during a live event. And no one knows why the glow remains so uniform, so large, and so persistent. It's as if something is signaling in silence, and we're just too far away to understand. Deep sea gigantism down in the deep. Things grow strange and big. Giant isopods the size of footballs. Colossal squid with eyes like dinner plates. Sea spiders that dwarf their shallow water cousins. It's a phenomenon called deep sea gigantism, and no one fully knows why it happens. Some scientists suggest it's because of extreme pressure. Others point to slower metabolisms, colder temperatures, or the evolutionary advantage of being large in a world without light. But here's the twist. It doesn't follow a perfect pattern. Some deep-sea creatures stay tiny. Others grow beyond anything seen in shallower ecosystems. And when new species are discovered, as they are constantly, they often don't fit any existing rulebook. It's like the ocean makes its own laws, and every few miles down, those laws start to warp. The Yonaguni Monument. Off the coast of Yonaguni Island, Japan, divers in the 1980s found something that didn't belong. Massive angular structures carved into the seafloor, with right angles, staircases, terraces, and flat walls spanning over 300 feet. At first glance, it looked man-made, like the remains of an ancient city swallowed by the sea. Some believe it's the lost continent of Mu, or an unknown civilization older than Mesopotamia. But geologists insist it's natural, a sandstone formation sculpted by earthquakes and erosion. Still, questions linger. Why do the steps look so deliberate? Why haven't similar formations been found nearby? And what about the carved symbols and upright pillars? To this day, no one agrees. Is it the product of time and tectonics, or evidence of something forgotten, buried by rising seas long before history began? The disappearance of MH370 on March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, vanished. No distress call, no warning, just gone. 239 people disappeared with it, and despite the largest search in aviation history, the wreckage was never fully recovered. Only scattered fragments washed ashore years later, off the coast of Africa. The southern Indian Ocean, remote, vast, and largely unmapped, became the plane's final grave. And even now, No one knows exactly what happened, or where the rest of the aircraft lies. It's one of the most chilling reminders that the ocean is not just a mystery, but a vault, one that sometimes takes and never gives back. Closing reflections. The ocean doesn't shout its secrets. It whispers them, through vanished signals, through glowing tides, through creatures that shouldn't exist. We've crossed deserts, climbed mountains, put footprints on the moon, but in many ways, we still don't understand the world beneath our own oceans. Every dive brings answers, and even more questions. Why does a whale sing a song no one hears? Why do lakes form underwater? Why do signals echo from places that should be silent? Maybe the ocean isn't meant to be conquered. Maybe it's meant to remind us that mystery still exists, and that we're not done discovering, not even close. If these mysteries moved you, there are countless more waiting beneath the surface. So if you want to keep exploring the unknown, subscribe to this channel. There are more mysteries, more stories, and more impossible truths waiting just beneath the surface. And we'll be diving into all of them together.